Pain heals. Chicks dig scars. Glory lasts forever.
The harpies from hell, the know nothing numbskulls at ESPN at it again, completely embarrassing themselves, completely discrediting Aliyah Boston and the game she had in game 4 to send the series back to Las Vegas for a deciding game 5. It is truly disgusting. We're going to break it down. We're going to talk about it. We're going to mock. We're going to have some fun. Welcome back to the channel. Thank you for being here. Appreciate all your support. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Of course, shout out to the ninth theme. One thing I do want to mention should be below: brand new merch. I think you are going to love this t-shirt. Check it out. About the bench mob. That's all I'm going to give you, but I think you're going to enjoy it. Go grab yourself one. So let's dig into this. We've got post game after the Fever went BTA to the Las Vegas Aces. Well, that didn't sit well with the narrative numbskulls at ESPN.
He's just saying the foul discrepancy was interesting. Full disclosure, it was a topic of conversation on this desk as well. Your reaction?
Well, it is interesting. And my favorite thing about a series, you can start to see trends, right? And if you were looking at the games earlier in this series, the free throw attempts, the discrepancy was 5, it was 6, it was 4. Those were the first 3 games. This game tonight, it was 23. The free throw attempt discrepancy was 23. Indiana shot 23 more free throws than the Aces. And when you talk about a favorable whistle, that play that we just showed, to me, it looked like Aliyah clamped first. And then Asia responded to that. But the initial foul to me was on Aliyah.
Yeah, the irony is that Aliyah Boston actually shot more free throws than the entire Aces squad. And mind you, respectfully, Aliyah commits the most fouls in the WNBA and the second most offensive fouls.
However, the foul discrepancy is not the only reason that they lost.
Yeah, don't let this overshadow the fact that Indiana's backcourt was phenomenal. Kelsey Mitchell was special, athletic, bouncy, tough shot making.
Wow, honestly, this is disgusting. This is a complete lack of understanding of the game. This is taking things out of context. This to me seems like 3 people who were handed some clips, handed some things to say. They didn't watch the game. They have no idea what happened, and they have no idea how to do any analysis whatsoever. And it does a discredit to the league. Again, this is, I always say, the ultimate thing is the product on the court, of course, but the WNBA has a whole lot of things surrounding it that limit its growth and stun its growth. And having so-called analysts like this do the league no favors at all. They highlight one play, and it's kind of funny because if Andraya actually knew sports and was a sports fan, she would know the cliche that it's always the second person that gets caught, right? And I'm not even saying that Asia was the second in that instance, but it happens so often that it's a saying from everyone who knows sports. So that is really not that big a deal. But they took one play that looked like maybe it went against Asia Wilson. I don't know why they didn't highlight any against Aliyah. They talked about her leading the league in fouls. Well, yeah, a lot of that is because Aliyah Boston has a special whistle in reverse. We've all seen the absolute ridiculous fouls called on Aliyah Boston throughout her this season and last year as well. But to that point, we'll just go to this real quick as a reminder for anyone, because and I'm going to play a clip of Asia Wilson talking as well, and we'll get to that there. But this was not called, folks. Watch what happens around the foul line extended. Asia Wilson, Lexi Hall. Let me just literally shove her to the ground. I'm going to shove her to the ground right in front of the referee, who has an unobstructed view of this play. That's a 2-hand push right there. That was not called. And so here's the other thing I like to understand. This is why I say they have no knowledge of the game. These are people who should not be doing this job because they're clueless. They're idiots, respectfully. That play does not result in free throws for either team. It is still a special whistle. The Las Vegas Aces still have the ball. Asia Wilson committed a foul that was not called, so that is a foul that she is not on the stat sheet for her, so she can continue to play like that, as opposed to if she were actually to get into foul trouble, or if these fouls were called and later in the quarter Indiana is shooting free throws because of that. These are the types of plays that people forget about that absolutely change games. That, my friend, is a special whistle. We can look at this, right? Shout out to Allison for this. Look who's leading in free throws. Like I said, 290. Second was Kelsey Plum with 244. That's how fall down was. The year before it was Asia Wilson with 275. The year before it was Asia Wilson with 287. Back in 2020, it was Asia Wilson. In 2018, I think as a rookie, correct me if I'm wrong, 248. She has always had a special whistle. And if you watch her game, yes, she goes to the basket. She also shoots a hell of a lot of fadeaways, so she shouldn't be going to the line the way she does. But let's listen to Asia Wilson. I got to tell you, this sounds a lot like Angel Reese.
But what made it successful for them to keep going to her tonight?
I don't know. You're going to have to ask Aliyah that question. I honestly, you just do your work. You got to do your work early and make it different. But Aliyah did say I have a special whistle. And she shot 13 today.
She said that to you?
Yeah. Yeah. She said the last game I had a special whistle, which is cool. So we just got to play better defense, make her look a little.
So again, completely out of context, connecting two separate things. Correlation is not causation, as we all know. Just because Aliyah Boston happened to shoot 13 free throws today does not mean that Asia Wilson does not have a special whistle. And you can just see it again. This is why I said Angel Reese. You could see the body language, the tone of voice. Asia Wilson is a spoiled brat who cannot deal with anything that does not go her way. I mean, look, and I'm getting so annoyed with this. I don't even know if I said this. Apologize if I repeat myself, but this may have been Aliyah Boston's best all-around game since Caitlin Clark arrived that she has played without Caitlin Clark. The reason she got to the free throw line is because she was getting the ball in the post and she was active in the post and she was taking a lot of shots. 24 points and only 15 shots, 7 of 15, but she also grabbed 14 rebounds, folks, dished out 5 assists, 2 steals, 2 blocks. Again, this may be Aliyah Boston's best game since Caitlin Clark arrived without Caitlin Clark. This is the player we keep getting glimpses of, and then we see too much of, oh man, Aliyah Boston really isn't that good. So this is the type of thing where I hope this is the type of game that becomes the standard for Aliyah Boston, because clearly she has it in her. Wow, and I believe, if I'm not, correct me if I'm wrong, I think in the first 3 games she shot 2 free throws total, I think. Literally total. I think she had 2 games where she didn't shoot any. So these are clearly ladies who didn't watch the entire game. They have a narrative. They were given a box score. They were given a couple of clips, and they were like, "Well, let's go with our narrative because look, let's be fair and be clear. The part of this, a large part of this, and we've seen it all over everywhere, of the I hate using the word hate because it's overused like so many other things nowadays, but so you know what I mean. The hate going towards Aliyah Boston has to do with the fact that she plays with Caitlin Clark. She's friends with Caitlin Clark, and that does not work for the narrative people at all. So they were given this box where they were given some clips, and they were, go do what you do, take things out of context, come at it with a narrative. It's really, really lazy analysis from these ladies. It's embarrassing for ESPN that they have them even on at all. Well, we know this is a lot about Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever, and that's why they want to go with this. That is absolutely why they want to go to this. They don't say the same thing, obviously, when Asia gets the whistle. We talked about all the free throws. I showed you the play of Lexi Hull, and we could do that for hours. Okay, that's the thing. It is not one call, but ESPN needs to get rid of these ladies. They're not helping the network, and they're not helping the WNBA. And let's throw this out there because I think this is really important as well. And again, this goes back to, I don't know if it's a lack of intelligence or it's just they're so consumed by the narrative they want to push. But anyone who has a basic understanding of the game of basketball and watched this game would tell you a lot of that difference, probably about half of that difference, I think it might have actually been 12 down the stretch, were because the Aces were losing, but they were close enough in the game that they were fouling in order to hope that the Fever miss free throws and they can get back in, right? Like at the end, they were exchanging 3 for 2. Kelsey Gray hit. I'll give her credit. She had a couple of big threes. The Fever are getting two free throws, even if they're making both. The Aces are inching back into it. So the Aces were fouling intentionally at the end, putting the Fever on the line. They shot a lot of free throws down the stretch, and that is why you get that big gap. Not to mention the fact that you go, oh, well, there was a difference of 6 in this game and 23 in this game, so therefore that means that it was fixed and the team got a special whistle. No, that's not how we do it, folks. That's not how we do it. So I think that is absolutely ridiculous. And then we have this shout out to Dutch for putting this out there to compare the two. Asia, as I mentioned, led the league with 208, 290. AB, a post player who should be drawing a lot of fouls, only 147. And then you can see in the postseason as well, 7 games each. Asia with 48 free throws, AB with only 23 and 13 in this game. So in the other 6 games, she shot 10 free throws total. Y'all, ladies, you have got to stop. You have got to step up your game because I don't know the way things are going. Even ESPN might eventually wake up and say, no. We cannot have this because our ratings are tanking. We've got to get qualified people in here that are going to actually talk about basketball from a knowledge base. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Appreciate you checking out this video as always. Thank you so much for your support. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. Go have the day you deserve, and I will talk to you later.